Everyone, good morning. It's 8 o'clock here on a Friday. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Channing Curtis. Well, let's start things off on this Friday by talking to meteorologist Thomas Patrick. Because Thomas, you're telling us about some rain that's impacting us this morning, but it's not going to stick around too long, right?
Yeah, it's not going to be an all-day rain. It's not going to be like it was yesterday. Just a few hours of this morning rainfall and probably only going to last for 1 or 2 more hours overall. And then we should be okay for the rest of the day, especially temperature-wise. Anything that gets in the 40s for January is usually pretty good for our book. But there's that widespread rainfall, just a ton of green on Doppler radar right now. If you're spying a little bit of pink over Kootenai County, I think if anything that would be a light rain-snow mix, those wet snowflakes that typically have a hard time even sticking to the ground. They just like melt by the time they hit the road. That would be the case over Coeur d'Alene and some areas like out towards Athol in northern Kootenai County. As for the Palouse, a little bit lighter in terms of that rainfall, a little bit more scattered, but still present this morning, but only for a couple more hours. We'll take you out to North Idaho. You can see a couple raindrops or maybe snowflakes on that lens overlooking Silver Mountain, where there's still some pretty good powder out there, especially at the top of the mountain. At least that's what Jeremy was telling me from his skiing adventure a couple mornings ago. Current temperatures in the mid-30s between Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, but look at how warm it is from Ritzville to Pullman to Moscow and Lewiston, all in the 40s, and then 50s along the foothills of the Blue Mountains. So Pomeroy, Dayton, Walla Walla, you're in the 50s right now on this Friday morning.
Happening today, there is a hearing for Spokane County's lawsuit against the Washington State Department of Transportation over the I-90 homeless encampment.
The camp has been gradually shrinking in size over the last month. WSDOT announced work is underway to reduce both the physical and resident size of the camp. So KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones has more on what it means for the people living there.
Yeah, today there's only about 200 or so people living inside of the camp right behind me, which is a major drop off compared to the 400 people who were living here at this time last month. WSDOT says they're going to do everything to get the people who are living here out in a safe manner. That includes providing them with resources such as connecting residents with employment opportunities, skill building workshops, and individualized case management, among other resources to help. For those that have called the camp their home, it's a bittersweet feeling seeing the property around them dismantled. According to WSDOT, their plan is to move the fence that's currently around the perimeter about 30 feet in. They hope that process can begin as soon as more residents are relocated. On top of moving residents out, the removal of large RVs and the pickup of debris is something that's also been a major focus. Today, this morning at 8:30 a.m., there's a hearing for the county's lawsuit against the state regarding this camp. Reporting on CNN Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Today officially marks 2 months since 4 young lives were taken. On November 13th, police found Ethan Chapin, Xander Kernodle, Kaylee Gonsalves, and Madison Mogan dead inside of an off-campus home near the University of Idaho. Now, it will be 5 more months before the suspect in their murder appears before a judge again. So now their loved ones and even the entire Moscow community has a long wait ahead of them.
Yeah, we were in the courtroom yesterday for the suspect's entire 5-minute status hearing. It went by very quick. The judge set Brian Koberger's next court date for June 26th. That preliminary hearing is where the judge will decide whether the case has enough evidence to move forward.
Have you had enough time to speak with Ms. Taylor about your decision to waive your right to a speedy preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Do you need any additional time to do so?
No.
The hearing will likely last an entire week as the judge listens to all of the evidence gathered. Earlier this week, the defense filed a request for discovery, asking for access to witness statements, warrants, and recordings. This request is standard procedure in criminal trials. We spoke to a trial lawyer to find out more about the defense's possible legal tactics.
Each party is investigating the matter, investigating the case, and speaking to one another. I suspect that between now and then, one of 2 things may happen. The case may come to a close. There may be a resolution, or the case may not come to a close. There won't be a resolution, at which point the prosecutor's office will formally charge him.
The arraignment will be after the preliminary hearing in June. Now, that's where the suspect will plead guilty or not guilty. Typically in Idaho, these preliminary hearings have to happen within 2 weeks of the first appearance. But the suspect waived his right to a speedy hearing, giving both sides 5 months to now prepare their case. In the meantime, Ethan Chapin's family says they still have not been able to get the rest of his belongings due to a court order preserving the crime scene on King Road.
KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk has more on what the family is saying.
Well, Ethan's mom, Stacy, put out a long post on Facebook updating everyone on how the family is doing nearly 2 months after the murders. A scholarship in Ethan's name has already raised more than $100,000. Ethan Chapin's mom says the family is still trying to process their new normal. However, she says nothing has changed. In a Facebook post, Stacy Chapin says they spend no time being angry, adding it's energy not well spent and it wouldn't change the outcome. During the vigil on campus, Ethan's mom told everyone they were eternally grateful for the time they spent with him.
That's the most important message that we have for you and your families, is to make sure that you spend as much time as possible with those people, because time is precious and it's something you can't get back.
Chapin and his twin brother and sister were inseparable, and this week they returned to campus without him. Chapin's mom says anything he had is now frozen with the defense. For them, that includes 2 cars, his personal belongings, and a nice set of golf clubs. Chapin's mom went on to say the support from the university, Moscow PD, and Idaho State Police has been profound, and they are eternally grateful for all the cards and messages they've received from around the country, too many to reply to. The tulip farm Chapin worked at growing up is working on a way to honor him, selling a tulip bulb mix called Ethan's Smile. Proceeds will support a memorial garden and a scholarship. The Sigma Chi Foundation created a scholarship in Ethan's name to honor his memory. So far, nearly $114,000 have been raised. The scholarship will be presented each year to an undergraduate member of the Gamma Eta chapter. Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Now, Xander Kernodle's family and the University of Idaho have also created a fundraiser in her honor. A link to donate to that scholarship endowment is available on our website, krem.com, right now.
The Zags faced off against conference rivals BYU in a game that came down to the wire. It made Zag fans very stressed out. Coming up in the next 3 minutes, Sports Director Travis Green recapping all of the best moments from the big game.